Are you using a task app to help you plan, but yet still somehow you are always working right up against that deadline at the last minute? Well, stay tuned because we're going to talk about one little tweak that might change things in a big way. Welcome to the Do More, Stress Less podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Hasselberger, a time management and productivity coach. In every episode, I give you actionable, practical tips to help you learn to use your time in a way that feels good to you every day. No more hustling, scrambling, or struggling to keep your head above water. So let's dive in, and soon enough, you'll be doing more and stressing less. What's that one field that every single task management app has without fail? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. Okay, have you got it? Yep, you are right. It is the due date. However, sorting your task list by due date isn't actually very helpful, I find. It doesn't help you figure out what you need to do today to move things along in order to meet their eventual due dates. And if we're sorting things by our due date, then what we find is we're often working right up against the clock, right? We're working right up against that due date. We're scrambling to the last minute, right? Sorting your task list by this due date means that you also still have to do a whole bunch of mental math every day, every minute to figure out what you should be doing if you want to avoid doing that last minute scramble. This is stressful. And that's where I've got one little tweak for you. This is the due date. Now, did I say the same thing? No, I mean the DO date, when you're going to do the thing, not when that thing is due. Now, this is much more confusing when spoken than when written, but here's what we're talking about. The due date, DUE, versus the due date, the DO date. And so I want you to think about this mental shift, right? You can think of this DO date as the next action date. It's the date when you will do the next step. It's the date when you will do the thing, the date when you will move it forward. And this, my friends, is a simple step, a simple mindset shift on the path to a task system that actually works, to a task system that supports you, that buoys you, to a task system that is an engine driving things forward, not a garage where you shove all the things that you don't want to look at. When you sort your task system by the due date, the DO date, well, then you have a system that actually works for you, that's helping you to drive your day, that moves things forward. Task systems, they may not be super sexy, but they are actually essential to offloading the mental load from your brain. In fact, about 90% of my clients say that building their single trusted task system together is the number one most impactful thing that we did together when we were working together. And they also often say that they couldn't have done it alone. They had tried, right? They had read the books, they had done the things, but didn't work until we did it together. So if you are not quite sure that you can do this alone, but the prospect of having a task system that actually works, that offloads the mental load, that allows you to think about what you're actually doing in the moment instead of all of the other things that you need to remember and that you have to do and that you're probably going to forget, well, I am here for you. There are lots of resources on my website, alexishasselberger.com. You can always reach out to me if you would like to work together. I am here to help you. And maybe this one little tweak that I'm sharing right now is going to make the difference between you being able to have and use a task system that works for you and continuing that same old process of feeling like a task system is more work than it's worth. And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Do More, Stress Less podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with somebody who could use a little less stress in their life. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're excited to take action or you need a little extra support, check out the free resources available on my website or schedule a free consultation call with me. You can do both of these at alexishasselberger.com. See you next time.